Hello there.
Hello, everybody. What is up? Welcome to Cantina Social Hour. My name is Victoria, and I am your hostess this evening as we navigate the world of toys and collectibles, focusing on Star Wars toys and collectibles this evening, and looking forward to a fun chat. So, thank you guys so much for being here. Really, really appreciate you on this Wednesday night. Today is May 20th. How's it already May 20th? I don't know. 2026. And summer is it's upon us. It's going to be here very, 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 very soon. But no hurry on my end because there are so many announcements from these past couple weeks, expensive announcements from these past couple of weeks. So yikes. I'm okay to wait a little bit. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. Really appreciate you. If you're catching us on the replay, thank you for watching the show. And looking forward to a good time as always. At least in my mind, it's a good time. I hope that it's actually a good time for you all. I hope. Anyway, let's see. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about brand new Disney parks. A couple items that were in the news over the last couple of weeks. We're going to talk about Hot Toys. That is our primary focus because, again, there's a lot of stuff right now. It's painful, but it's like a good kind of pain, but also not really. I don't know. And then we'll talk a little bit Star Wars fandom at the end. And we'll end with new acquisitions, brand new things that you've added to your collections that I've added to my collection. We'll see what new stuff has been added to our collections. But anyway, let's go ahead and see who's in the chat before we welcome in this evening's guest. So I'm going to scroll to the very top. Sci-Fi Dude is first in here. Commented almost an hour early. Let's go, Victoria. Hey, Sci-Fi Dude. Good to see you as always. We have our moderator with us. Adam says, hello all, and hello, happy Mando Eve. Indeed, that is coming out tomorrow, isn't it? I'm not seeing it until Saturday, so I'm going to have to kind of stay away from spoilers, but I will be seeing it opening weekend, but it's harder and harder to avoid spoilers these days. Let's see here. We have Dodgson. Good to see you, Dodgson. Thank you for being here. We missed you last time. We know you were busy, but it's nice to have you back in here with us tonight. Thank you for attending the soda fountain. Let's see here. Pico B1. What's up, Pico B1? Hello there, my fellow Cantinians. Happy Mando Eve. Anyone going to see it tomorrow? We are going Saturday. Okay, so I'm not the only one going Saturday. Nice. Whom else? Spicy Kool-Aid. Okay. Let's see. Allison, how's it going? Good evening to you. What? Captain EO? What are we talking about? You piqued my interest. Let's see. Tornado. Oh my goodness. Glad you're all right, Pico V1. We have our friend Mary. What's up, Mary? Good to see you as always. Good evening to you. We have Gen X 7006. How is it going? Our friend Britt, the bookkeeper, is with us. Let's see what little bit of lore she has with us this evening. Thank you, Mary. The title of that track is The Cantinians. I think I said that before, but it has not been released in any capacity. Maybe it will be at some point. All right. Cool. Okay, I see. Like Wednesday, hopped over to Michael's personal shelf for an autograph. Yeah, right. About here. So, okay. So this is really hard, you guys, because, like when you collect like the 6 scale stuff, I only have 4 DTOS. Some people have like 20 DTOS. I don't know how they do that. I don't have My house is from 1951. It's not big. So I have limited ways of doing this. I think Michael really should be by himself, honestly. I think because they're doing the Smooth Criminal, right? That's the next in art figure they're doing of him, and I have that on pre-order, and it's going to be the two of them together once that's received. But for the time being, yes, it's kind of weird just having her off to the side. But my intent was to put Beetlejuice right here, which I got like 3 months ago, and I've just not gotten around to opening. So it was just going to be kind of like a, it doesn't make, they don't make any sense like together. I mean, maybe Wednesday makes a little more sense with Beetlejuice, but neither of them make any sense with Michael Jackson, other than he was into creepy stuff. So, I mean, maybe that, but that's kind of a stretch. That's kind of a stretch, I would say. So, yeah. Anyway, I do have an empty. I just emptied one down here. I had Mandalorian season 3 down here, and I emptied it out so that I could put something else in there. I don't know what yet, but anyway. Darth Profi, how are you doing, Mario? Good to see you. Happy Wednesday to you. Is Wednesday getting evicted? No, she'll just get moved somewhere. I don't know where yet. It just, I'm gonna summer breaks like coming up soon, so I'll have more time to kind of figure stuff like that out. But in the interim, that's I think they're getting along okay. Adam says I need a new 6 scale display solution. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to do other things. Oh, are they shipping soon, Mario? Oh man. There's a lot shipping soon, it seems. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to make sure I have the funds ready to go for that. If that is true. Yeah, that's the other one, Allison. Jazz and Catwoman. That's the other one I was thinking about right now when I made that comment. Yeah, she's coming. I think they said July is what they were shooting for, and so Jazz Inc. said. So that and the Smooth Criminal like are roughly around the same time. Ugh. And I need to hire myself for another job, or not hire myself, but or sell some stuff. That always helps. Anyway, well, I guess let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to go ahead and bring in this evening's returning champion to the Cantina. So I suppose let's go ahead and let's do it.
Now this is pod racing.
All right, returning to Cantina Social Hour, we have the one and only Shattered Glass Jazz, also known as Rick. What is up, Rick?
Hey there. Good to be back.
Good to have you back. And as per always, the displays are looking remarkable.
Oh, I wish I had more room. You can never have enough room.
No.
Not in this hobby.
No, definitely not. It's not even like, I know a lot of this stuff's pricey, right? But I'm like past that point. It's just like there's not enough room. Like that's the real
you got a perfect meaty topic. I go long ways back on this 1/6 stuff, back to 2001. So I was very happy to see that was the topic.
Nice. Yeah, like Power of the Force 2, I got into the Star Wars line in 1996, but I was also collecting the collector series that Hasbro put out back there, or Kenner put out back then. And those were they were 6 scale. They were the 12-inch line, and so and it was like those still have, like, I think still to this day have some of the nicest like boxes that Hasbro ever did for anything, or Kenner ever did for anything. But yeah, like those I still have some actually, but I did sell a good number of them. But yeah, 1/6 scale is tough. It is tough, but yeah, 2001. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Sideshow had the James Bond license, the Universal Monsters, and what got me in to the ground floor of 1/6 was the Buffy, the vampire stuff. I was a huge Buffy fan back then. Still am. But yeah, that got me in. And then I remember when I think it was Iron Man 3 got me into Hot Toys. Or I say Iron Man 3, the third version of the armor, the Mark III. I remember getting that one. I think that was the first one that I got, and they were very basic back then.
Yeah, things have definitely changed and evolved and gotten better. Like you look at some of that stuff from back then and compare it to new stuff, and it's like back then I was like, wow, this is really good. This is really cool. They can't do better than this. But then no, it's like
Right.
every few years, it's like no, they can do better.
Yeah, you can. One of the fun things, if you're like I don't consider myself to have a museum of it anymore because I've been selling a lot of the older ones. But at one time, I would have said it was a museum. If you look at the Black Widow figure, she goes back to that first Iron Man movie, just like the Mark III. And if you look at all of the Black Widows all the way through, that's a really good way to see when they started getting better head sculpts and even the artisan hair and all the different steps along the way because there's been so many over the years. She's a good one to kind of look to because she's been there from the beginning.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. Well, other than that, how have things been on the collecting front on your end?
Good. I'm one of these people that just this is the golden age as far as variety and sculpt and the fact that we have Cantina play sets and if the economy and the prices met where we've gotten to as far as what is available, wow, right? I mean, there's everything, any corner of the fandom, 80s, 90s, 70s. I mean, there's something for everyone. And not only is there something, there seems to be multiple lines for every single brand now. So
Yeah, it is overwhelming. Um, yeah, but I mean, that's the name of the topic, Hot Toys Overload, because it has
yes.
indeed been overload in a way that I had not foreseen, and in a way that I'm worried about because the month isn't over, and
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
anyway, I guess let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about some Disney parks merchandise that I recently caught wind of. So I think these were announced early this week or late last week. Disney's pretty good at keeping things secret until pretty close to the release of their products. I don't know how they do that, but they do. So this is coming from Food at Disneyland, which is an account that I follow on social media. And I don't know how these people are always at Disneyland trying different foods, but they manage to do it somehow. But I appreciate it because I screenshot when I see things I want to try, and I'm like, okay, next time I go, I'm going to try this or I'm going to try that. And it ends up being way too much stuff that I try, and I never get to everything. But anyhow, I'm going to scroll down here a little bit past all of the delicious looking treats and foods. This right here, this is the new BDX Droid Bucket, and it is releasing tomorrow at Galaxy's Edge and at other areas around Disneyland Park. So yeah, it's basically like the little BT droids that they have walking around Galaxy's Edge, or they had for a little while. They don't anymore. But that are also in the film Mandalorian and Grogu, and who they also made that 4-pack for the 3/4 inch
Yeah.
4-pack recently. So yeah, I mean it's interesting because it doesn't look like a popcorn bucket. Like it actually looks like a little droid. So I'm interested to see this in person and see if it's the kind of thing I'm going to need.
Yeah. When I saw the pic, I get tempted by these a decent amount, especially the last year or so. But this one especially looks good. Like you can tell they're starting to really detail out what makes it more than just a popcorn bucket. This one is
Mm-hmm.
a perfect example of the last few have been good examples, but I love the wires and the antenna and the little details.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a nice job with it. They did a nice job. I'm curious to see what the scale is going to be like in terms of, does it look like fairly close to what these droids should be like? I've never seen them in person, but I mean, a sizable popcorn bucket should look like fairly close to being in scale, but I don't know. We'll have to see once.
Yeah, this is one of those times where they could do a 1-to-1 scale. I mean, you can't do it with Jabba Skiff or the Tauntaun, but this is
Mhm.
one where this one makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no, it does. It does, and it definitely looks, and at least in these images, looks pretty realistic. So, you know, what would be cool if I know they probably would never do it, but if they, because these come in different colors, like that 4-pack, I think there were like 4 different colors in it.
Yeah.
But if they offered like a popcorn bucket like this in all those colors, I mean, maybe some people feel compelled to buy all 4, but if they were just like, I don't know, I feel like this would be like a cool opportunity to do that, where you have the blue one, the green one, the yellow one, the red one, and you
Yeah.
get to pick like your favorite one.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Let's see. So
Would you keep all 4 of them the same amount as far as the units ordered, or would you make one rare and do that thing that the market likes to do?
Well, knowing Disney, they may do like 1 or 2 of them in like a lesser quantity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, business wise, I mean, it almost makes sense, unfortunately, to kind of do that with at least one of them, like have like a chase variant, so to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's tough because then they have to. Yeah, I mean, they have to be pretty confident they're going to sell all of them.
Yep.
But in addition to this, there's also a sipper. This is the Mandalorian and Grogu jetpack sipper. So it's wearable. It's got the straps where you can wear it on your back. It's got Grogu on the back of the jetpack. This also releases tomorrow. And it's interesting because it has like the straw piece, like the clear plastic where you would put the beverage inside it, should you choose to do that. I don't know which barbaric people, choose to put actual soda inside their jetpack sipper, but
right.
Yeah, we don't have an image of the back side. I'm curious to see like what the detail looks like on the back, but
yeah,
at least from this angle, like Grogu looks really nice. And I imagine that this is one people are going to pick up. They're going to wear it around the park because it's an instant like little like costume element to have Grogu.
Yeah,
so
it is.
I can see this being popular.
Yeah, these are 2 really fun ways to promote the movie and offer, keep that line going for the sippers and the buckets.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, so I dabble in these. I don't buy all of them. The last one I got was the Tauntaun popcorn bucket. And I loved that one. I loved it so much. And I have like the Death Star and the Jabba the Hutt. But I don't buy all of them because I think they had like a Jawa sipper last year. I didn't buy that. It was neat. They had a Clone Trooper helmet last year. I didn't buy that either. And right now they also have the Protocol droid head with the light up eyes.
Yes.
They have the sail barge popcorn bucket. And then they have a Bantha sipper. That one I am interested in because I saw it in person and it looked really cool.
They keep getting better as far as the aesthetics. I think the more they do, the better they get, it seems like.
Yeah.
And I think they probably have a better idea of what the folks that are buying them, I think they're getting better ideas of what they want. I think this sipper with Grogu, I think this will be a good experiment to see how big and how much cosplay can they factor into the marketing of each one that they do. I think this is a good experiment. But the BDX droid, probably outside of the Tauntaun, probably the coolest one that I've seen. I've had to not get these because I have to draw the line somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
The only ones I have are the Christmas party at the Magic Kingdom. They had some Nutcracker Mickeys, 2 or 3 that they did. I bought those because we wanted to make those part of our Christmas setup, display for the 2 months that we have that up. And I did buy the Elf Mickey maybe 2 or 3 years ago. They had an Elf Mickey, and I bought that one because it was a super cute version of Mickey. Sometimes the Mickeys aren't up my alley, and that one happened to be something that I would want. So
totally, yeah. Some of them are in. When I said dabble, I dabble in the Star Wars ones, but I think I probably have more of non-Star Wars ones than I do.
Oh
Star
yeah,
Wars ones.
you guys get some of the best ones. I do have
that Elf Mickey that you mentioned. I have that. It is pretty awesome. It looks very vintage when you look at it. It's like a vintage piece, if it's the same one.
I want to. You guys got one time, and this was my favorite one that I ever saw. Just like I said, I can't bite at them. And I want to say it was from Pete's Dragon, or it could have been from the Electrical Parade, but it was the Pete's Dragon one. And it's a few years old, but that one's probably my favorite one that I've seen.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. Yeah, they make some really good ones, and you know what always gets me is yes, they're not cheap, but when you go to the movie theater, like their buckets that they because you know buckets have become a really popular thing at theaters too. The
Yeah.
buckets they sell in movie theaters, they tend to be of lesser quality, but they're more expensive than the ones at the Disney parks.
Yeah.
So, so suddenly I don't feel quite as taken advantage of when I see those. But
Yeah. I've got a friend I talked to earlier today that was just asking me because I don't think he knew. He knows I collect Transformers and GI Joe and Star Wars and all that, but he does the buckets, and I didn't know how many he had. And he shot a quick video to show me, and I'm like, oh my god, he has a lot, very movie based buckets. But
nice.
yeah, so there
So,
are a lot of. I think there are a lot of popcorn bucket collectors now.
oh yeah, definitely. Mario says the AT-AT bucket. Um, yeah, I that's actually I forgot about that one. I do have that somewhere. Um, that is a neat one because it had the posable legs, and it's not like terribly big, but it for its time because it was one of the earlier ones that they did like a decade ago, and then they brought it back a few years ago. But yeah, that was a neat one. All right, so the other neat thing I have here. Let's jump over to the Disney Store website because there is a new Jango Fett voice changing helmet for adults. This is a pre order and it will be available, of course, at Galaxy's Edge very soon if it isn't already. But yeah, so this has not been done. Black, there hasn't been a Black Series one. And it's interesting because sometimes, like, when you look at the Galaxy's Edge or the Disney helmets, rather, the Galactic Archive series, I think it's called, they tend to do similar buckets to what Black Series does, but they don't usually do the same exact character. Like they've done several clones, but they're not the clones that Hasbro's made. So it seems like there's some level of like cooperation there. But Jango Fett has not been done by Hasbro, so it looks like Disney is striking first by getting this helmet out there. Let's see, price is $149.99. And yeah, I mean it looks good. It looks as expected. One little note that I have here is I feel like the visors like it looks like they widened it just a little bit, probably so that you don't trip and kill yourself like I would. But it that's the only thing I can really like notice about it that seems a little slightly off. But just like on first glance, I mean it's obviously Jango Fett's helmet, so it looks cool.
Yeah, I haven't had hands on with any of the Disney parks helmets. Just the what is it, the Black Series helmets that Hasbro's doing.
Yeah, I know like some people will say that the Disney ones are better and some will say that the Black Series are better, but I don't know. I mean, I have a bit of both. Mostly I have Black Series, but I do have a couple of the Disney ones. Like I have the Kylo Ren, like the light up one.
Yeah,
Um, and is that that might be the only one I have from that. No, wait, is it? I don't remember. That's pretty bad. I don't remember. But yeah, like there's it seems like there's pros and cons. You watch the video reviews, there's pros and cons to like what either company is doing, but these are designed to be wearable, but they're also displayable. So I don't wear these because again, I would kill myself within 5 minutes. Um, and so yeah, I just hang them up. But
yeah.
Jango Fett looks good. Colors look correct, so we'll give
It
them.
looks pretty good. The only ones I bid on is I've got the Captain Rex. I've got the 332nd. I think that's the Ahsoka Trooper.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that one. I keep that one in like our little movie room. It's just sitting on the floor, kind of with a few other items, some droids. But that one makes me extremely happy because I look at that one every day.
Nice.
I want to say there's a Wolfpack one that somebody's done, or is it coming? I can't remember.
Yeah,
But
I
that
think that's
one,
Disney, I believe.
is that Disney's doing that, or they just did it? I feel like I saw an image recently of it. So that one, I might end up biting on at some point. That's probably my favorite of the outside of the Ahsoka Trooper.
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, there's some really nice ones. Yeah, I guess I do have another Disney. It's not a helmet, but I have the C-3PO. That one is they did a good job with that one just because it lights up and looks really nice.
That would make sense too, since he's, lost his head over the years at least twice.
Yeah, he has a tendency to do things like that. So all right, so that's the Disney Parks merchandise. I believe I hit the ones I was intending to talk about. There is another helmet though that I do want to touch on. So I'll go ahead and pull this one up. This one kind of just randomly dropped the other day. It went up for pre-order. But this is the Phase 1 Clone Trooper helmet. Because like you were saying, Rick, they've gone pretty deep into the Phase 2. There's like the 332nd, there's the 501st,
Yeah.
the Captain Rex, and there's the all-white one. But now they're doing the Phase 1 clone, which I think makes sense. I figured they would get around to this one eventually. So now you're gonna have I'm sure they're gonna do repaints of this too for a while after comes out, but that's fine.
Looking at that design, it's funny because like it's been so long. So was that 99 when that movie came out? Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones, I guess, had them.
Yeah,
So it's been a
2002.
while. The older I get, the more like right here in this image, I'm like, that is a really nice design. Like where it's not my favorite in the movies, and I'm really probably, like I said, the helmets I like are kind of near the end, but this one is really nicely designed. And like I said, the older I get, the more it's grown on me. I think on the smaller figures, like the TVC stuff, I don't appreciate it as much as I do looking at it like dead on like this size.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way to describe it, because I agree. Like at a larger scale, even like a 6 scale, like this helmet I think looks a lot better than it does at smaller scale. But it is a really nice design. It definitely has like the Jango Fett influence there because they were clones of him, and bit of a stormtrooper.
The little black shapes within the mouth really holds the stormtrooper design along with the white and the black, obviously, but like right around the mouth, I love that it maintains that stormtrooper look. That was, like I said, the older I get, this helmet really looks great. I don't think I ever appreciated it when it was coming out and you're trying to adjust to what it looked like before, but once over the years, I think Revenge of the Sith has grown on me too over the years. A lot of the prequel stuff has grown nicely with me as I've gotten older.
Definitely. Yeah. I know. We got hit with a bit in the nostalgia too with the Phantom Menace item that we're gonna get to in a while. But
yes.
But yeah, no, I pre-ordered this because I do dig the helmets, and I don't buy all of them, but this is the first Phase 1 helmet they've done, and maybe they'll do all 4 of the ranks, right? Like the commander, the captain, the sergeant, the lieutenant, all that. But
yeah,
like it's like there's no way I would buy like the same helmet 5 times over.
This will look great on a shelf though. This is
just a straight up classic, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And it has the visor stripe above it, thankfully. So
if you had a room big enough, like I used to have, like when I had less stuff, I had multiple pedestals up. Right now I've only got one pedestal in the room, and it's got the Boba Fett 1-in-1 sideshow from years ago. But at one point I had a few more, but a black pedestal with just helmets on it like this would look killer in like a nice minimalized collector room.
It would. Yeah,
I could only dream of having a minimalized room where you could just have the pedestals and stuff like that.
Yeah. When I had like fewer Hot Toys, I used to put the helmets inside them, the DTOS, because they looked really nice.
Yeah.
But now I just hang them up near the ceiling because
right.
The DTOS.
Understand.
Yeah. Anyway. And they're easier to dust. It's easier to dust a helmet than it is a Hot Toys figure, I think. But
absolutely.
Anyhow, we'll go ahead and move back over here. Comment here from PKB1. What was interesting about the Clone Trooper was that it was always CG. Now getting it in real life is cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. And we saw like actual ones too in the Ahsoka series, like
Yeah.
actual moments. All right. And thank you for that, Sci-Fi. I do appreciate it. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take this off. Well, Rick, like we were saying earlier, it's been nice knowing my wallet. I think my wallet broke up with me like a week ago. So I don't know how I'm going to do it with all the stuff we're going to be talking about in just a couple of minutes here, but there is a
right there with you. Right there with you. I've started eating bologna sandwiches again. That's where we are.
Yeah. That's going to be my reality too, I fear. But anyway, let's talk about it. So, all right, we're going to go back to last week because I think last time we did this show, we covered like the previous round of Hot Toys, which was here. If I scroll down here, that would have been like the Qui-Gon, the Anakin concept art, the Yoda, all that stuff. But now we're getting into some newer stuff. So I'm just going to go in order of what's posted here. And I guess that'll start us off with this gentleman right here. Stacey Tin, Jedi Master, whom they just recently, Hot Toys, like, I don't even know if the figure's out yet, right? But Stacey Tin went up for pre-order like a year ago, I want to say, like from Revenge of the Sith, just this classic, film costume. But for whatever reason, they decided that, hey, you guys need a Genndy Tartakovsky version of Stacey Tin as well to add to your collection. So out of nowhere, because this is a really weird source to pull an action figure from, especially a 6-scale action figure. Yeah. We have Tartakovsky Stacey Tin.
Yeah, and if you look at kind of like what they've been up to, now you kind of know there's nothing off limits. If there's something that's in Revenge of the Sith Jedi-wise, and it's also in any animated form, they're gonna pull it. They're gonna give it to you. So after this one, not much would surprise me. After this week and this particular release, I would say anything's on the table.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. Stacey Tin, let's look at a couple of images here. So yeah, if you watched the Tartakovsky series, it was kind of like a bit of a filler, like during the Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith time frame. And I remember they were making like a big thing of it because the time span between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith was 3 years. But also the time between the films being released was 3 years. So when the Tartakovsky series came off, the promotion was like, this is happening right now. Like, this is what's actually happening, like, between the films. So we saw this version of Stacey Tin, and he was wearing this armor. He had this helmet. It's a very faithful recreation of what we actually see in the series. And yeah, again, they decided to do a figure of him. So he's got the lightsaber. He's got the helmet the armor does look a little bit tattered. I would say there's a little bit of wear and tear on there. Some scratches right there. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Foldable cape. It's got the wire in there. Lightsaber. I was really surprised to see this. So I mean, I totally agree. Like after this, like nothing is really like off the table. Like they could do anything at this point.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, this is definitely evidence of that.
And this kind of ties into the overall topic, the overload of how many items. So I just did some more Clone Wars pieces, and I'm very picky these days. I did the Plo Koon, and I did the 104th, the Wolfpack guy, and I did the Commander Wolf. And to me, the way I collect these now, a lot of the last few years, I usually collect them in scenes. So like for Ahsoka, I got almost all of them and just put them in a row right next to each other, having all of them kind of being in a scene just makes sense to me. And then I've got a decent amount of the Clone Wars stuff as well. This one would have fit in so well with them. I looked at it, I saw the armor, I saw how specific this release was, and I'm like, you know what? I might get this one. It wasn't on my bingo card, but maybe I'll get it. But because of all the things that have been shown over the last, is it 3 or 4 weeks now? It's been about a month, I feel like, of constant
Yeah.
stuff. I just skipped it because not only do you not know what's coming, there's a lot of stuff that has already, come before it as well. So I knew I didn't need it, but I knew it looked cool. And there's a difference. There's a difference between, man, this looks amazing, and I need this because it makes me super happy. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I completely agree. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I found myself in that situation numerous times where I'm kind of caught between the balance of like, okay, this is something I have to have, and then like this is something that would be amazing to have. Like if like the Queen Amidala that we're going to talk about a little bit, like that was a have to have.
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't matter when they announced or released that. Like
Mm-hmm.
that already, that was a no brainer for me. But like something like this, out of left field, I love the source material. I love the Tartakovsky Clone Wars, but it just, it's hard for me to justify, not only in light of all the stuff that's coming out, but also the fact that I had already pre-ordered the previous CAC10. It's like, okay, unless they're going to go all in on this version of Clone Wars and do like Asajj Ventress and Dirge and a bunch of those, characters, then
Right.
I don't really have reason to have this. And, even if they did, maybe I would pick up one or two of those other ones. But
yeah,
I was tempted. I saw it on the Sideshow site. I saw it on other sites too, where I could have gotten in on it. But I restrained myself just because of, primarily because I was looking at the other things that they had at the same time. But yeah, here's the head. He looks very happy. And yeah, the horns are very shiny. I'm not sure why, because I don't remember them quite being that way in the movies, but definitely very shiny. It's a nice figure. It's a weird one. And then price on this one, obviously it's on waitlist through Sideshow, but price on this one is $285. So it's not cheap, but it's also like, not the most expensive. But
yeah. When we get to some of the other ones, I'll come back to this price for sure. Like that's something it's a big factor in my decisions lately. Also, I want them to make sense of it for me. I need someone from Hot Toys to make sense of something.
Yeah, that would be nice. And worth noting, this was limited edition 2000, so not a ton of them out there. That'll bring us to another item that is also waitlisted. That is limited edition, a little bit higher of a number, 2,500. And this is going to be Luke Skywalker from Shadows of the Empire, which again, random, out of nowhere, source material, Shadows of the Empire. Like, again, what does this mean? Is this going to exist in a vacuum? Does this mean they're going to do Prince Sheezer? Are they going to do like the Luke with the red like Sentinel armor? Like, like how far in are they planning to go here? Like, is this something that they're going to elaborate on, or is this it? Like, I don't know, but that's the tough thing about 6 scale, especially because, you don't, if you're interested in the source material, like in this case, Shadows of the Empire, you don't want to miss anything, but you also don't want to just have one figure on by itself. It's like, well, what do you do? So
I agree. I agree that it makes, what you said makes perfect sense, I think, to a lot of us, because with all the product dropping, you don't know where to go. Look, it would be different if they put out a 30-second promo showing, yes, we're going to be doing Shadows of the Empire, and you show one and maybe tease a silhouette or something of the other. But it shows that, hey, we're going to do a few of these. We're going to do that. Same with the 2D animated Clone Wars stuff. That's a way that they could have done it to kind of show that, hey, we're committed to doing a few of these. But when
Yeah.
they don't, I just see it as a more, hey, we're going to do the new thing that they seem to be doing the last few years is, hey, we're going to do this limited run of this very specific EU or, animated item, but in live action, form that we do. So
Yeah, for sure.
these are we're trying to keep up with the rules as they apply them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's get some more images here of Luke closer to the head sculpt. I'm curious to know what your opinion is, Rick, but like some of the more recent Lukes have been better, but I feel like they still haven't like 100% like dialed it in. And anytime I look at their young Luke sculpts, like I still get the same thing that people have been saying since like the New Hope Luke from ages ago, like that there's a little bit of like a Tom Cruise vibe to it.
Yeah, I mean, they've done quite a few different versions of Luke, including versions that are mixed with CGI from the, New Republic stuff that we're getting now through Mando and all that. So it's hard to pinpoint what, especially with this, because this is like a multimedia. You got a book and a video game and some action figures, but it's hard to pinpoint what he should look like exactly. I can only say that I bought the first version of Bespin Luke when it was a 2-pack, and he came with the weather vane on the bottom of Bespin, that thing, years ago, and I still like it. It might still be my favorite, actually. Even when they redid it, I didn't feel like it was as good as the original one. When the light hits that just right, it is a mini version of Mark Hamill, to me, at least in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know they've ever topped it. I think this looks like him. It looks more Return of the Jedi, maybe, than anything else, which would probably be fairly close to when this would take place, right?
That's true.
So
That is true. It's a good point.
yeah, I think this one has enough resemblance. I like Shadow of the Empire, but I can enjoy it from TVC, the old stuff even, and Black Series if they do a few more. But I think the likeness is there. As far as like Shadow of the Empire looks, though, this was, I mean, of the looks, this one might be the cash grabbiest. It's a little easier than some of the other looks. Like you were talking about the red armor. But this is also a head sculpt that you could reuse if you were to do other parts, like a nice limited run of that red armor and came back and had this as one of the head options.
Right. Oh, that's true. No, that's a good point. I actually did something kind of similar with I have the Return of the Jedi Luke from, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. It was like the DX one that had like the Endor poncho and it had like the Jedi cape. And nice figure, but I took the head from the Mandalorian Luke and I put it on that body, and then I put the hair piece from the Return of the Jedi figure, and it's probably like my best looking Luke out of all of them. But yeah, I mean it is a nice head, and I think that's actually a really good point. You could put it on other versions of him. Yeah, I mean I'm Shadows of the Empire, I don't have a lot of feeling for it one way or the other. The most connection I have to it, I guess, would be like the toy line from the short like toy line from the 90s. Because those things were, I mean, for anyone that's old enough to remember, it's been collecting as long, like they those things were saturated like everywhere. Like it didn't matter what store, they were saturated.
And for anybody that wasn't old enough, they had a book, a video game, and a soundtrack and a comic, I think. A comic at some point. But yeah, there was kind of a multimedia. It was the first time they had done, like, other than the Zahn books, and there was just a book for that. This was like a multimedia event without the movie, but everything else, it was cool. I mean, The soundtrack, I still listen to the soundtrack sometimes as well. That was fun.
I need to. I've never read the book. When it came out, I was like, I don't even know that I immediately knew that there was a book because I was fairly young. But I need to
Yeah.
get around one of these days and read the book and listen to the music and do
Yeah.
all that because I at the time I just wasn't really able to do that. But
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, as far as like this costume though, like I mean, obviously like Jedi Luke, like the black outfit that is 100% my favorite look for his character. And to this day I still think to some extent, like I mean I primarily wear black and I really do think that Jedi Luke has a lot to do with that. But yeah, this takes that outfit and adds a couple of things to it. Like I know a lot of people are saying this is the fishing vest because that's what it looks like. um but you also get two versions of the belt. Like you have like the more you have like just the black. Let's see, there's a picture of it here somewhere. Um, like this right here, just his regular belt. But then you also have the optional, like the more Han Solo style belt with the holster as well to put the gun in. So you could kind of customize it a little bit, I suppose, depending on your tastes.
Yeah.
Because I kind of feel like the ideal Luke might actually be like without this vest, but with the Han Solo like holster, I think, or the Bespin holster, whatever it is. Like that'd be a pretty cool look, I think.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense for them to, just like Darth Vader, to keep Luke's on the market at least, every 2 years, because there's new people coming in all the time.
Oh yeah, that's true. Hey Jason, how's it going? Good to see you. All right. So yeah, did you pre-order this one or is this one of the ones you let?
Oh no, this one was an easy pass. I'm sticking to the smaller action figures for Shadows of the Empire.
Nice. I would love to see. I will say I would love to see Hasbro update these in TVC at some point.
Would love that.
Yeah, that would be a neat toy line. Big Obi-Wan says brown belt, gun, no glove. Yeah, I mean, so I guess there's different things you could do to play around with the look. Does he have any hands without the glove though, or are they all glove? Because that's kind of a big flaw, right? Like, because he didn't have the glove until Return of the Jedi, right?
I can't remember if he had it in Shadows of the Empire. It's been so long since I looked at the material.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of like when he gets shot in the hand and then he starts wearing the glove after that in the movie. But I mean, maybe he did have it. Again, I'm not like 100%. I'm not that familiar with like the book or any of that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the wrong gun also? Okay, well. Interesting. Very interesting. It is kind of like that skiff guard style gun, huh? Now that I look at it a little more closely. Like, yeah, like right there. That's
yeah.
That's the skiff guard gun. Whereas I know in Return of the Jedi he has the in Empire Strikes Back he's got like the Han Solo style blaster. Yep. And then in A New Hope at the very end he's got the Princess Leia blaster. So he's a gun collector. I didn't know that about Luke. He's a gun collector. All right, we'll go ahead and skip to the next one. Okay, so that'll take us to Sabine Wren, which $300, a little bit more expensive than the others. But finally, the Rebels version. It's I made a comment in I think the last show where we were talking about like the Rebels Thrawn that they put up because it's very similar to the other Thrawn from the Ahsoka series, and I said, well, I pre-ordered the Thrawn because I was quite happy with the Ahsoka one, but I said I pre-ordered it because I got to thinking, what if they start doing Rebels versions of these characters? And I'd rather have those in the Ahsoka version. So I went ahead and yeah, I was excited to see that they are doing just that. So to some extent, but yeah, here's Sabine for the first time. Rebels version of Sabine in Hot Toys version.
Yeah, these hurt the most. So here's where this is good and bad. I've been asking for Rebels, and I already have most of the Ahsoka figures, but really, my love for a lot of those comes from my love of Rebels. And here's another time where, I'd say Empire Strikes Back's probably going to always be my favorite Star Wars. It's probably the way it's going to be. But Rebels comes real close to taking it off the throne as a series. Kanan and Hera, Sabine, it's loaded with good deep characters, like probably the best. And it also brought back a little bit of romance to Star Wars with Kanan and Hera. Chopper could be a superior droid to R2D2. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if that's a hot take. So seeing Sabine and knowing that I've been asking for these was real tough because right beside her was the price tag of $300. And I've been watching it over the years. Like I think when I bought Hera, she was probably 265. It's been inching up. I think the best been Han Solo that when it went on pre-order was maybe like 270 to 280, somewhere in there. But this was that moment. And I think Oka was at the 300 mark as well. But this was that moment when her and Ezra both went up and they were both 300.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still on the fence. I have not pre-ordered it, which is crazy because I consider myself to be, I bought over 400 Hot Toys. Rebels is my favorite Star Wars. If I'm on the fence, I know there's a lot of collectors in my boat. It's no way that I'm the only one. It's the $300 price tag, and it's beautiful. The paint job on this, it might be the best paint job on any armor that they've ever done. So it's tough. I'm not saying I'm not going to get it. That's the thing. I'm on the fence. I haven't put that pre-order day one thing on it like I normally do.
Mm-hmm.
This one's really tough because it's beautiful armor. It's the best armor. So I don't know.
It is.
I don't
It
know
really
where
is.
I don't know where I'm gonna get. Part of me is like, I need to be responsible as a fan and not give in to the $300 price tag of the female figures. It used to be when they showed a female figure, you knew you were going to catch a break between all the back then $350 to $400 Iron Man figures, or anything that was a little bigger, had more weight, had a lot more parts and things like that. But now the smallest of the figures, with like a Ezra or Sabine, they're hitting 300, and with shipping and tariffs, it could be 335 shipped, something like that. So during this overload, this is the one that hurt the most. And when I knew I was coming on, I knew I had to share my real feelings towards it. Like it's beautiful. It's on my want list, but I haven't given in quite yet. I just don't know what to do about it.
Right on. Yeah, I mean that's understandable. It's a tough one. The price is high, but I don't know how much like the paint contributes to that. I know Hasbro is always like, oh yeah, the more paint it has, the more price it's going to be.
Yes,
So,
right.
but
That's true.
yeah, like of all of the ones that were like in this wave of announcements, like I thought this was the most exciting one.
Yeah.
Because I really, I love Rebels as well, and I would definitely trade up my Ahsoka series versions for these.
The Rebels, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think she looks great. I love what they did with the hair, like just the gradient.
Yes.
And that's the same hair that they did on the that Hasbro did on the TVC one when they did the
Yep.
Rebels version. I think the armor's a little bit different on theirs. That the colors are slightly different, but overall it's the same overall general look, I think. But yeah, it's nice to see her with like the little spray gun.
Yeah, I love the little splatter that they do in a few places on it. And really the shoulder pads for me, like this
Yeah,
armor, the two shoulder pads are like some of my favorite art from the entire series.
yeah, they're little works of art. It's got the comlink. Yeah, just so in all, they did a really nice job. Like this was my most wanted one from that wave, so like I had
Yeah.
to go in on this one, but
I
yeah,
think
she's a little pricey for sure.
the other thing that is had me on the fence was we talked about space earlier. And yeah, I would have to probably get rid of my Ahsoka ones, and I really don't want to because that media to me, I'm one of these people. I'm like the super fan of that particular show. Like I'm looking forward to the second season so much. Like it really hit with me in a way that most things don't, and I don't want to get rid of them. But the other thing that you just mentioned is they did such a good job with the TVC versions of these, and the fact that I have the ghost along with it as the backdrop. They're beautiful, but the other thing is all this stuff, whether it's the 1/6 or the ghost, they're all space suckers. Like space wise, what's the representation that I need? I'm never going to get rid of the TBC representation. I'm alpha and my omega of collecting. It's going to, I'm going to go to the end with that line.
Sure.
But these, like, I'm at that point now where I've got, I've got some things that fell off the Cantina. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 10 6-foot shelves of 1/6, and I've been selling, and I'll probably sell a few more. But it just, am I ready to build the Rebels team? And if I do, am I ready to buy a second version of Zeb? Because they're going to do that.
Oh yeah, easily. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to do all of them at some point.
It's a commitment. I was looking at the numbers, like when they showed these two, I looked at the numbers and I'm like, there's no way around $2,000. There's, if you look at it and you just do the math.
Yep.
And I'm like, so I got to free up space and put some commitment in to get them. I think the one thing that would make me buy these is if they had shown Kanan and then showed pictures with Kanan, Chopper, and Hera together, I'm pretty sure I would have just committed to it automatically. I think that was the missing piece. And I still might, like, they might show Kanan next month, and even if it sells out, like, if I really want it, I'll be on eBay. I'll be that person.
Yeah,
if I have to.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't start with Kanan, because you're right, that would be like the impetus for like people to jump in and say, hey, they're doing the Rebels. There's Kanan, I got to get the rest. But I really feel like we might see him in Ahsoka season 2. Like there might be like a flashback or something.
Yes, I completely agree. I really think, well, we'll get to that topic, but I think Ahsoka season 2 is going to generate so much buzz because they know which episode was the most popular, and everything revolves around Anakin. And now it seems like the Rebels crew is really getting into the Star Wars lore, and Filoni's in charge.
Right.
So, I mean, there's no way around it. We're going to get a Kanan. I don't know how many, but
yeah,
I just thought that if they showed that from the get-go, that's the one. I still think Sabine should have been right there with him, but
yeah,
that one would have gotten me to bite because I knew the commitment is coming sooner than later. And I think where they did do, a few versions in TVC, I feel like his character is still underused because he hasn't been in, because of what happened in Rebels, he hasn't been in the other media. So.
Yeah, definitely. But like I was talking earlier too about like all these little squares behind me, all these shells in the DTOF. Like if I had to like set it up one more time and say this is it for the rest of the time. I can never like tweak any of them again. I can never like take figures out. Like I would need one to be Rebels, like at least one. And it would have to be that crew. So if they do that, see the thing with selling off, like you mentioned, like you'd have to part with the Ahsoka series versions, and I think those are some of the best figures they've ever made in terms of like the lightness and the overall like quality. I think the Ahsoka series are amazing.
100% agree.
But the issue is that they made so many of them I think they still have a lot of them in stock, right? Like you can't really, if you were to sell them, like it'd be kind of hard to, we'd probably take a loss trying to do that. Mm-hmm. So I think they would just go into the archives for me, and I would have the Rebels on display is probably what I would do.
Yeah, I do think that they'll finish the crew. I don't know if they'll end up, depending on how popular, if you'll get that Zeb remade so everybody can have one, or if they'll do like a special 2,000 unit summer exclusive thing to get that version of Zeb from that last season or whatever people might want.
Mm. Definitely. Jason says, whose likeness for Kanan? Would it be Freddie Prinze Jr.? I mean, what do you think, Rick? You think that
I've given it thought before. I mean, I feel like the right thing to do, well, the first thing you have to do is figure out the age and see if it works. Like you just have to go in and do the work. And I'll be real, I'm betting they've done a little bit of that. I'm betting someone's touched that a little bit behind the scenes. I know they had I want to say they had like a little photo on the Ghost,
yes.
dash. But I'm betting someone has thought about that before now. And there's probably a version where he at least made the artwork for sure. Right. But I think you'd have to, anything is possible now that they've had a few years to figure out Luke Skywalker. I think if you pick I'm a conspiracy theorist kind of when it comes to Star Wars. Like if you pick my brain, I'll tell you that Han, Leia, and Luke are going to be in the Filoni movie because why not? We know that Luke is prominent, and who wouldn't want that? I mean, I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
So I think it would just depend on which version and how much of him you'd see. He's getting older, but you know what? I would probably go that route. I think people would like that. I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, I'd like it too. And I think they can easily like do de-aging to get him to the right age.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that'd be cool. I think it'd be neat. All right, so Sabine Wren, let's go ahead and jump over to the next Rebel, because now they're doing Ezra Bridger. So Rebels is continuing. So a lot of things said about this version of Ezra. I have my thoughts on it, but I'd be curious to hear your thoughts first.
So this one, I don't have as many thoughts on as I did Sabine. This one is more interesting to me because because we didn't see that actor without the beard in the actual series. I think I might have saw some Instagram photos of him shaving up. I'm pretty sure I did, but it's been a while. So, this is one of those things. What are you pulling from? Are you just taking the beard off of him? I haven't put the photos next to each other, so I'm definitely not an expert on that actor's likeness. Do I think the age is right? I would assume this is from it's either from Ahsoka, like the hologram that Sabine has of him, maybe, or it's either like, are they saying it's from the last season of Rebels, right before he disappears with the Purgles or whatever?
Right.
It's tough to put an age and a face with this. I mean, the outfit's fine. I don't know if I could nail down what he looks like here, like I can with Sabine. Sabine's easy. Sabine was really easy. They cast the perfect person, and because the armor is painted perfectly, I could look at it. It all gelled together. This one, I'm not sure. It does nothing really takes me out of it completely because I think the outfit was perfect. It's even weathered nicely. Um, I wouldn't have mind seeing his original lightsaber, but I understand if this one sells well, they'll probably make the longer haired, younger looking Ezra. And maybe that's when you get the pistol lightsaber thing. But
Right.
I don't remember the jetpack, but I suppose that maybe there was one.
Yeah, there must have been. I've never gone back and rewatched all of like Rebels before. Like I should do that actually. Like it feels like the right time to do that. But
It's enjoyable. Share
yeah.
it with someone. I shared it with my wife, and she's an average Star Wars fan. She cried, and she loved it. It's her favorite Star Wars.
No, that's cool.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, really cool. But yeah, I don't remember the jetpack either. I mean, I'm sure it's accurate, right? Like why else would they include a jetpack like that? But I don't remember the exact like moment that he did that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're right. I think this is probably supposed to be based on that hologram, which we don't really see. We only see like we see it as a hologram, which is itty bitty. So we don't know what he looked like when he was wearing this costume.
Yeah.
I'd assume that Hot Toys has like behind the scenes
Yes.
photographs and stuff like that
Yeah.
that we haven't seen. But yeah, I mean, I know the ages is kind of a weird area because what I think Ahsoka series takes place. I don't know how many years after Rebels, like probably close to a decade.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, so he looks he doesn't look terribly young here. Because I think he's Luke Skywalker's age, right? And Leia's age, right? Because I think he was born like on the first day of the that the Empire was declared, and so were they. So
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
believe. So yeah, you would think he should look a little bit younger, I would think, but again, I don't know. And there's also the whole thing of
All right.
these photos never look like the final product either. So
Something in my brain keeps telling me 15 years. I don't know why. I don't know if it's in that Hera does like a little monologue. Someone does a monologue. Is it Sabine or Hera? I can't remember who does it. But at the end of Rebels, the last scene that you see in Ahsoka, they do like a little monologue over the scenes,
mhm.
and they might say 15 years. Part of my brain, that part of my brain that's like crazy that remembers stuff. Anyway, I might be wrong.
Yeah, but unlike Sabine, this is one that I have not pre-ordered quite yet. I mean, I
Yeah.
think I'm going to have to because I want to complete that crew, but I just haven't gone around to pulling the trigger quite yet for whatever reason. Here's an image of that they released of the crew so far, and again, obviously these are not like Hera and Zeb aren't wearing the correct outfit from Rebels, and Chopper
Mhm.
even isn't painted quite like Rebels because there are some slight differences.
Right.
Would Chopper be one they go back and re-release? Probably. I
Man.
could see them doing that with just some slight like paint tweaks to him, but
But they have the opportunity to do electronics and sounds.
right. Oh yeah,
You know,
that would be cool.
they
That
he's got such a personality. Usually, like I'm not as interested in that. It just depends. But I wouldn't mind that for his personality. He has such a good droid personality.
oh yeah,
So expressive.
definitely. And I feel like Ezra looks a little bit better in this picture.
Yeah, I think when you put the crew together, it seems better. You know what I mean? Like it draws it out. It kind of highlights Zeb's outfit being absolutely the wrong. That it's I don't the New Republic stuff that he's wearing doesn't gel in the group shot as much, but it might later. I mean, there might be a scene that we see later.
Right. Yeah.
It's cool that they're doing them though. As a person who wished for them a few years ago, I mean, I'm glad that Rebels is getting attention.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Let's see here. All right, we're gonna jump over to another waitlisted item. This is limited edition 2500 Clone Commander. Clone Commando Sev. And these are the guys from the game, right? From
Yeah, is it Republic Commando? Is that
Republic
the
Commando.
older?
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm
these.
I'm only loosely familiar with this.
Yeah, I have. I never played the game, but over the years, Hasbro made the figures. I mean, I guess they're probably due to update these figures at some point, but they did make these figures.
Hmm.
So I'm familiar with like the characters and the armor designs, but
Yeah.
like I never played the game, so it's not something I have a whole lot of fondness for. So these are not figures that I feel like I need. Looks cool though.
Yeah, they all look pretty good. This one especially.
Yeah, I always liked the blue visor. How it looks like it's like glowing. I always thought that was a neat feature on these figures.
Yeah.
So very obvious they're going to do the whole crew, which, like, again, I don't feel like I need these, and that would be another like easy like $1,000, like having to complete all 4 of these.
Absolutely. Yeah. Again, that those price tags make it, I guess what's the right word? It's not sustainable to build teams anymore with the price tags for the average person, I'd say. I think that's a fair sentence.
Right. Yeah. Not for something that to me is a little more like tertiary than like the Ahsoka
Right.
series crew or Rebels crew or
Yeah.
Rogue One crew or something like that. That's a little more prominent.
Yep.
But like, yeah, I'm sure somebody out there is I'm sure there's plenty of
This
people
might be this could be their favorite thing. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just more expensive I feel bad that if they're getting in now at the ground floor, I feel bad because there was a time when they were much less expensive.
Right. That is absolutely true. A couple of rifles, and then everything you get. And price on this guy was $255, so not like the worst price, but again, if you're buying it 4 times over, you're going to be spending a good bit of money. All right, so let's go ahead and we're already in the Commando. Let's go ahead and let's jump over to the other one. We're getting into now this week's reveals. So Clone Commando Fixer, who's not waitlisted yet, but is up for pre-order. I assume if the other one went up for waitlist, this one will as well. But it's another one of the 4 Commandos. This is the green colored one, and yeah, a little bit different. Same general overall costume, but some of the elements of the outfit are obviously different, like that kind of weird looking backpack that he's wearing.
Did they put how many units they're doing for these 2?
Let's go back and look. So
I'm assuming just because it says exclusive doesn't mean it's 2,000. I assume
2,500 for Sev, and for Fixer also 2,500.
All right.
But
it's interesting, right? Because think about how many Star Wars collectors there are, and then you have to kind of also think, all right, how many Star Wars Hot Toys collectors are there? I always wonder what's the right. I bet they struggle with this as well. Like, what's the right number?
Right. Yeah, that's got to be something
that's
that
not the easy job.
Yeah,
it's not an easy job.
Yeah, there's everything you get there. Let's go and take a look here. So we'll jump back over here. Let's go to this guy right here. Keto the Anzellan Droid Smith. So this is the second one of these guys that they've done. The other one up, I think last month, I want to say. Or with the May the 4th pre-orders. But yeah, this is life size Anzellan from the Mandalorian and Grogu. So these are the two of them, which they had already shown both versions of them previously. So I don't think it's like a huge surprise that they're doing both. But this is one of those that I'm kind of wondering, like, how many people are actually going to be buying these?
I agree. In my head, this is a companion piece to Grogu. Like in my head, that's how my brain pulls it together and says, okay, a few people might buy some. But would they buy them without a Grogu in their collection? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they have like a ton of screen time and steal the show in the movie. I don't know.
Right. No, that's true. I mean, they're fun. I'm not doing the Grogu because I got the last one that they just did a few months back, like the 2.0 version.
Mm-hmm.
So once they did that, I sold the 1.0 and I'm like, and then they come
Yeah.
out with 3.0 and like, like, yeah, that probably would have been the ideal one to have because it has all the accessories, but it's not the kind of thing where I would like need to trade up for it. I wouldn't need to sell the one I have for the 3.0. So yeah, I mean, I definitely want to go this route, but I will say if you had Grogu and you had both of these with him, like I think that would be a really, really cool looking display.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are
neat. I guess it does start to look more like a museum piece as well, having like the 1-to-1 scale creatures and stuff like in your collection. If you have the right collection for it, I could see where that would be super attractive for like your room or layout.
Right. You know what would be cool in this scale, like 1-to-1 scale? I would definitely, I think I would definitely get Salacious B. Crumb.
Yeah. Have they ever done that? I felt like that someone did that at one point. Have they not?
Not that I can recall.
outside of Galaxy's Edge, obviously.
Yeah, outside of Galaxy. Not that I can recall. It's possible. Possible something was made at some point by somebody, but
like him on a little pillow. I mean, I could totally see that.
That would be a lot of fun. Let's see, what all do you get here? So you get a few accessories, light up LED function, something that looks like a almost looks like gas station nozzle or right there. But price on this one, $240. Yeah, it's a little steep. I feel like a little steep, but
and still $60 cheaper than Ezra.
Somehow. Let's look at the Imperial Remnant AT-AT driver. This one's $255 as well, like the two Republic Commandos. Yeah, so I'm trying to remember, Rick, and I think I got my first hot toy in 2016. But before that, I'm not outside of like the New Hope stuff. Like I don't remember how far they went with some of the Imperials. Have they made an AT-AT driver at some point in time?
I feel like either Hot Toys or Sideshow has. I would say yes. I might be wrong. I don't have one, but I feel like they did because I know they did. They've done the TIE Pilot at least twice. I'm talking Sideshow and Hot Toys, but I feel like one of them made it. I find it easier to skip the pilots of vehicles where I own like whatever the definitive Hasbro or Kenner item is. You know what I'm saying? Like I find it a little easier to not have those. Like I always think about those at the scale with the thing that if that's their action, like if they're a driver or the name pilot is in the name, then I always have a hard time with them not being near the vehicle, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get that. I kind of like that. I might actually appropriate that for my own collecting sensibilities because I did order the TIE Fighter pilot. And to me, that's a little more. I mean, I don't know if iconic's the right word, but to me, that's a little more iconic than the AT-AT driver, right? But yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Like, I don't know that I would need. I like having like the Imperials there. I like having like like the the different troopers and that, but I don't know. AT-AT driver almost feels like a little bit of like it's on the outskirts of that sort of thing.
Hmm.
So it looks cool though. Let's look at a few more pictures.
Yeah, it's always been like I'll always love the helmets and the simple aesthetics, the color palettes. I like a lot of the I
Right, and
like a
the
lot of the
cost.
Hoth costumes.
Oh yeah, the hot stuff's great, and I think the costume itself was like it's like a TIE pilot, right? But like they made some tweaks to
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
and recolored it. But yeah, it looks neat. I think they did a really nice job. Like the overall, like from what I've seen from Hasbro, at least when they've made some of the remnant AT-AT drivers, like I feel like
yeah,
the helmets look a little bit small, but
yeah,
seeing it here, like it looks proportionate. It looks like what I remember from like the costumes of like the ones in Empire.
yeah, yeah. A lot of those helmets were a little oversized, it looks like. If you're looking at pic photos, you know what I'm saying?
Right. It is really nice. It's got some really nice like weathering on it.
Hmm. Yeah, and it should. That should be part of the personality of this. I think could be weathered even more on the chest and stuff.
True. I wonder if they'll ever do like an Empire Strikes Back one.
Mm, well, I mean, they could. I don't know how. I've never compared these two outfits, but I assume if they're not exact, they should be close to. It wouldn't be a reach to make one that's clean, like a cleaner version.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure they made some slight differences in the costume. I just didn't know specifically what, but
Yeah, it's a little harder than the stormtroopers, where the stormtroopers have like some different colored
oh
limbs
yeah.
going on and
Right. The
parts
visors are
pieces.
different. The
Yeah, the
helmet.
snowtroopers have like missing parts, and I think that's fun. But this one, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on that. But you're right. I'm sure there's a few things.
Florida Keys Pirate says best armor ever. Allison says if they were on the Death Star 2 meeting the Emperor, they make the shelf. Were these guys on? I mean, I think that Allison's
You're
referring
talking
to
about yeah, like when it's kind of militant and they're all standing like in their
right.
groupings.
There were TIE
I think
pilots there.
Yeah, I think
Um,
everybody was in that. I think everybody was in that scene.
right. There were scout
Like
troopers for sure.
all the things. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't remember there were Death Star gunners. I guess there may have been. There may have been addict drivers too. I'm not sure. But
yeah.
and Mary says that prop replica she thinks did Salacious Crumb.
Mm,
Brent, hey Brent, how's it going? Says that there was one before.
yeah.
And okay, so Florida Keys Pirate says they were in fact present on the Death Star. Somewhere in that matte painting, I assume. Here it is. Here they are hanging out with the snowtroopers. Probably just talking about the latest speeder or something. And let's see what else. I mean, it is really cool. Like I feel like this is one that ideally I should probably try and pick up. I'm just a little worried they might do an Empire one, and that would be my preference. So
Yeah. It's hard to say because they still have the Bespin Han coming out soon. So we know that they're still doing some Empire stuff. And I'll be real, I'm still using a sideshow Han and Luke and Tauntaun that they did. Hot Toys still has not done those. And isn't that insane if you think about it?
right.
That's Yeah, I'm still holding on to the old sideshow Tauntaun and Luke, and it's okay. I mean, I would like to change out I don't need that. I'll keep the Tauntaun, but if you give me a Luke,
Okay, let's keep going. So, okay. Rada the Hutt from The Mandalorian and Grogu. Yeah, so we this was teased recently, and now now it's okay. So first of all, I gotta say, 295. Like this is cheaper than Ezra.
yes,
Like
I
what
like
is
that.
up with that?
I
How
like
can
that we keep going back to it. That has made my night. Thank you. I love it. This one is all right. So my first thoughts on this, shout out to Steve Evans and the Hasbro crew. The fact that Hot Toys at a $300 mark is beating Hasbro to TVC potential items is that has to be looked at. We need to analyze that a little bit, right? Like we gotta. I know, we gotta look at that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that was my first thought: is how is Hot Toy? What is going on? Because this is that part again where, like, as a TVC collector, this is an item that I haven't seen the movie. I want this item in my TVC collection, like, immediately.
Right. I feel like it's got to happen. I mean, I have a hard time like not seeing them do this. I mean, I don't know how long we'd have to wait for it, but I have a feeling like we're gonna get an announcement for this sooner rather than later. I don't know I don't have any inside
I
track
hope
on
so.
that. That's my personal feeling.
Yeah, I want all three huts from that I know about that are in the movie. I want all three huts for sure. But
Yes.
it's interesting that with all this overload, the word that you use, overload, the fact that this one was part of the overload is not lost on me because he's, gigantic.
He is. Yeah. It looks really cool though. I mean, I don't have any immediate plans to pick this up. I mean, I feel like it would take up too much room, first of all, but it is really cool.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see one in person at some point. One of the things that I read, I don't know if it was, I think it was on their Facebook or Instagram post, but it said something like that the texture was here. Maybe it's in this image here. Movie accurate skin texture. I don't know exactly what that means. Like, is he like rubbery or is it like I don't know, but that is an interesting way to talk about it.
Yeah.
He's slimy, maybe. I don't know.
And uh, he's got I mean, there's a little bit of articulation in here too. It's an interesting figure. Like, it's somewhere between, like, the Avengers Hulk and the Jabba Return of the Jedi stuff that they've done, I guess. Somewhere in there, that's where this kind of fits.
Right. Mary says, "Will we get a Jabba now?"
Well, they've done Jabba twice. I have the original one and the original throne, but I think later they did a better version that's got some pieces that you can take on and off. Maybe 3 years ago. It's been a few years.
The sideshow one, right?
Yes. Yeah, but I don't know if I don't think Hot Toys has touched it. I think Sideshow has done it, has been the
Yeah.
only one to do it.
And that
Because
one's
they
like
did the,
$1,000. It's like a
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, if Hot Toys could do a Jabba at this price, I have a hard time like seeing myself not picking it up.
yeah, it's going to be more than that. Would you need the throne?
That's the thing that's what would really bump it up in price, right? That something like that would take it up to like another couple $100.
It was
So
separate. Like, when I bought the original one from Sideshow, it was the Jabba was separate from the throne.
I mean, I feel like ideally, yeah, you would probably want to have the throne, but
Yeah.
like if it was just a way to get a Jabba, like something around this size, but at this price point, I feel like I would be like, okay, I just want the figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, such a cool looking piece. It's gonna.
Yeah. If you're looking to represent, this moment in time from the movie, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, if you're putting those scenes together.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. This one just kind of like, again, out of nowhere, but I gotta hand it to them, just like being able to do something like this and also offer it at the price point they're offering. Yeah, just like, wow, that is pretty cool.
And it's not the first time that they've done something first that's bigger and, from a property where they showed it before the movie hit.
Right.
It's
Yeah. So you get interchangeable arms and hands. Some, I guess, vibro axe type weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very, very neat. Very cool. All right. Let's here. Well, let's jump over to the staff real quick. So I got a note that there are there's 2 steps that went up for pre-order today. This first step, based on what it says here, is based on the Mandalorian and Grogu. So I guess we're going to see steps. I had no idea we were going to see steps, but hey, Hot Toy says we're going to see steps, so I guess we're going to see steps. So the colorway on it is different. It's unique to this particular version. It does not come with a figure, but the photos clearly show that the Mandalorian is on there with Grogu in tow. So you know, they're I guess this is something that's in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a neat colorway for sure. But like a step on its own, like that's based on a new film, like that's not really something I have a need for. I also don't know about this base. How sturdy is that? Doesn't look entirely sturdy to me, but again, I could be completely wrong.
Yeah. I wish I have the Anakin with the staff, but I only took out the Anakin and I've never used the staff. So I don't know. I can't give you hands on, still in the box.
Right on. But yeah, so this is just a staff, nothing else. Just a staff, and the price. Here, let's just get that image real quick. Everything it comes with. Yeah, just a staff with the display base. And this one, no, thank you. This one is priced at $170, so not too bad. But again, it's like if you're not going to do anything with it, then yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird one to me. Okay,
Yeah,
so
they kind of do that for Mando. It seems like they usually anything he rides, they try to do it, or they're not afraid to touch like the blurgs and now the staff and the little speeder that he had. So when it comes to Mando, they're not afraid. That's what I'll say.
Right. All right, so let's talk about the other step. This one comes with a battle droid, and again, it is still cheaper than Ezra Bridger. Like, how do they do that? $250. Like, I know prices go up and up and up and up, and Hot Toys aren't cheap, but I mean, that's not bad. Like $255 for a staff and a battle droid. That's
Well, if the staff is the same as far as the model itself, the same as the one that came with Anakin, so they already had the tooling. And then did Hot Toys do battle droids? I have the Sideshow battle droids still.
Yes, they did the Attack of the Clones one, the red one.
So there you go. That's how they did it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Battle droid and staff. So what is nice about this is it's bigger, it's going to take up more room, but it's very vertical.
Yeah, it's very vertical. Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to have as wide of a footprint as other things could, like a speeder or something like that. But
yeah, the only thing you'd have to look out about is how far the cannons poke out in the front and how far back that battle droid's back goes when he's bent knees like that.
Right.
It doesn't look bad though. Like I think you could do that in most places.
Yeah, it's just very tall. You're going to need vertical space.
Yeah, it's the top of a DTOF for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that would fit perfectly on the top of a DTOF. I have a couple of things up there myself just because that was the best place for them to fit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, where's the all included? There it is. So you get the battle droid and staff, transformable modes for the droid, light up LED function. The droid has binoculars, a blaster. You only get a display base for the staff, though. You don't get one for the battle droid.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that they offered the droid by itself. I feel like if they did, I'd be more inclined to pick it up. Again, it's not a bad price. It's just
I want to say when Sideshow did it years ago, the two that I have, I think they came in a pack together. There was two battle droids because I remember getting Grievous, and then I wanted battle droids on both sides of him, and that's why I ended up getting that 2-pack of those. It makes sense too that they do, like, for something like a battle droid, they could do a 2-pack of those.
yeah, they probably could. And it does source this to the Phantom Menace, so this is like actually from.
Yeah, if it were me, I would have done the commander on the step and then done 2 battle droids, just the standard battle droids as a 2-pack.
Huh.
That way you're getting out 3 battle droids and pretty much an entire scene.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. Allison says, have it suspended off the side with one remote LEDs and sound for it. That'd be interesting. So yeah, that is pretty cool. All right, and I'm saving, purposefully I've been saving Queen Amidala for last, but let's go ahead and take a look over here. Queen Amidala with a lighted dress, who is also cheaper than Ezra.
And she is decked out. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so for far too long has Hot Toys, and not just Hot Toys, a bunch of other companies, most companies, in fact, I would say, that make Star Wars merchandise, for too long have they ignored Queen Amidala. Not only in this look, but like any Padme really is really far and few between these days, and has been for a long time. So I was very, 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 very pleased when I was scrolling Instagram last night, and I saw that this had been posted 10 minutes prior to me seeing it. And I was like, okay, all right. You guys got me again. You got me, Hot Toys. Like, there's finally. That said, I have a couple little concerns with the figure, but that's not casting too big of a shadow on something that I feel is somewhat monumental for Hot Toys to come out with. But Rick, what did you think when you saw that Hot Toys has announced brand new Queen Amidala?
It was pretty amazing. Like, I definitely did like a double take. Honestly, I thought of you almost immediately. I'm like, this is elegant. It's part of the prequels. It revolves around the Anakin world, and it is a great, possibly the best representation of Amidala. So yeah, all those things kind of came to mind, honestly. And I thought that this would please a lot of people. We get a lot of clones. We get a lot of droids. We get a lot of Luke Skywalkers and Darth Vaders and Anakins. But this one was a giant hole in the overall 1/6 marketplace for Star Wars.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I was definitely very, 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 very pleased to see this. And I started thinking, well, Jar Jar went up for pre-order last year. New version of Qui-Gon, 2 versions of Qui-Gon, the Artisan and the standard version, went up for pre-order earlier this month.
Mm-hmm.
And Darth Maul was updated as well, 3.0, I think technically it is, right? I don't remember, 2.0 or 3.0. That came out like about a year and a half, 2 years ago now, with the new head sculpt. And now Queen Amidala. So it's nice to see them like owning in on the Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people are asking, what about Obi-Wan? Like, when is that going to be? When are they going to finish like the core crew?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you would need to do that, and I feel like you would need to do like a young version of Anakin too, for it to really feel complete.
Yeah.
And C.O. Bibble. No, I'm just kidding.
This is one where I almost feel like I'm glad it's out there. I think it looks pretty amazing. This is one where like a little dio piece, like the windows or something would have gone even further to take this to like off the chart to a brand new place. I know it's risky, you know, I get what parts of the Star Wars fandom can be kind of risky sometimes, but this one is just so great looking. The aesthetic is amazing. It's probably my favorite look that she had. She had so many different looks over the years, but this one was always a standout, you know, just a great look.
Yeah.
I love the light up uh, parts of the dress at the bottom, like those details like that. The head crest, it is top notch.
Definitely.
The likeness, top notch.
Yeah. Um, it looks great, but I feel like for me, and maybe I'm being nitpicky, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I almost feel like the likeness isn't quite 100% there yet. Um, when I look at this, I don't know, like it's hard for me to put into words exactly why it doesn't look 100% to me, but I don't know. I feel like maybe it's the age, like maybe she looks a little bit older here than in the film. But there
Do
is
you have
one
some of
thing
the
that
angles?
Mhm.
Do you have a few other angles, like as you can flip kind of back and forth?
Yeah, we have other angles here. Like here, let me pull up so there is one thing that like definitely I feel like needs to be tweaked. So let me go ahead and pull up this image here. This is actually like this is still from the film, but like I feel like in reality maybe she looked a little bit younger here or like a little softer, like not quite as the figure looks a little more. I don't know if idealized is the right word, but like almost a little more mature, I guess. But looking at the forehead, that's where I kind of see the biggest like thing because there like if you look right here, like she's showing kind of weird way to say it. She's showing more forehead here
Yeah.
than the actual. Wish I could do a side by side, but jumping back to the figure, like you don't see quite as much forehead. Like the headdress is a little bit lower.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, and also the little red
Just
ruby thing that's a little bit bigger on the figure too.
yeah.
But it's still great, and I think this is still like in terms of like what Hot Toys does is pretty monumental of an announcement. And I am optimistic that they'll continue to make some slight tweaks. And what this figure has in its favor, like if it isn't perfected, which again I don't think that it is quite yet, it doesn't ship until the projection is April
Oh yeah.
2027 through September 2027. And anytime they have a figure that far out, there's a good chance that slight refinements can still happen.
Yeah, I would the only concerns I had when I was looking at it would be like the same things that are always concerns even for 1/6, and that's the parts that are kind of furry. Like those things are always hard, and the way that the tailoring lays over the figure so that it matches everything you've seen on screen is always tough. And here's something where they haven't had to do this amount of that. I guess the emperor's clothing would be, because he has kind of like the long sleeves that drape and stuff like that, but he's not dealing
Mhm.
with fur or, other parts of materials joined together.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this is well said too. Comment from Allison that she seems a little older and has more of a stern look. And I think stern look is a good way to put it because when you watch that scene in the film when she's wearing this outfit, she's expressionless. Like she's just very like straightforward, right? She's not smiling, she's not angry, she's just very, 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 very neutral expression. And I think this figure kind of the likeness on this one sort of is a little bit more interpreted, I guess. So she does look a little bit more a little bit more stern here. So that is one thing I would like to see them kind of refine, is just tweak the likeness just a little bit, and then fix the headdress so it doesn't come down quite as far in the figure. But I mean, other than that, like, gosh, I mean, the light up dress that you were talking about, Rick, like, man,
It's pretty cool.
that is really, really cool. And I haven't seen anyone. I mean, it was just announced last night, but one thing I have not seen a whole lot of chatter about. I want to see if I can find like a decent image of it in here. But maybe this image. Yeah, I guess we can go with that. The hands on her, like the hands look. Can't zoom in them more than that, but the hands look really nice. Like they're really like nicely sculpted, like very elegant, and the white nail polish, like that's accurate.
I could see that even from that picture. I could tell that the polish had been done. Does she wear jewelry or anything like that, or is it pretty simplistic with just like the nails?
I think this is accurate. I don't remember seeing.
Oh yeah, that's a good picture of it. Yep.
Yeah. Wish I could zoom in a little bit more.
Yeah, that's very nice. That's something that you don't see a lot from Hot Toys. This is quite an experiment for them. I mean, this is outside their box.
Yes. Yeah, and it's interesting timing too, because the Phantom Menace anniversary was well, what year was that? That would have been 2024, I think. Right? The 25th. So it's kind of interesting timing, but yeah, I don't care. Like, give it to me anytime. Like, this is a really exciting one.
Yeah, and hopefully they're looking at it like that. I don't, Hasbro overuses the anniversaries quite a bit for all their brands. Let's be real. But I like the idea of Hot Toys just thinking, what's an iconic thing we haven't done yet? And this is that all the way.
Yes, absolutely. And it's interesting too that, like, that they thought this was a good time to do this, because sometimes we see patterns, right? Like one company does something, another company does something. So I don't know.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith did really well for them at the theaters. I remember seeing those numbers and going and just kind of just looking around. And I myself I have a 13-year-old now, which is crazy. He's 13, but his favorite thing about Star Wars is Revenge of the Sith, and he won't shut up about it. Like he loves it, and it's because Anakin speaks to him. He loves the character.
Yeah.
He likes Darth Vader, but he likes Anakin more. He likes that era. So I think it's gotten, like we said, I had said something earlier about the clone helmet sticking with me and me liking it more now that I'm older. I think all of the prequel stuff is more iconic now than it was when it came out. I think people were trying to figure out how to digest that stuff when it came out. And I think now that it's been out for a long time, I think people look back on that era fondly. And I think, like we said, the Revenge of the Sith, I think Phantom Menace as well. Maul has really helped Phantom Menace stay relevant and keep growing an audience.
Absolutely.
But yeah, this is great. Hopefully we see more. Like, hopefully this is part one of what will end up being like a 5-part Padme series,
That'd be great. That would be great, because we have the Attack of the Clones one, and now this, and
that's 2 looks. A lot. I see people already complaining that there's not a specific one to the Nexu attack or whatever. You always hear that, but there's 2 other iconic looks there's 3 other looks that I can think of off the top of my head from those movies. So there's a lot of Padme stuff that we don't get often in any of the any of the action figures, honestly.
Yeah, I completely agree. And hello to J Dog the Hut and Philly Z for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I hope they keep. I mean, I don't want to say keep them coming because, like I said, overload. But man, I really
Space
do
them
want to
out.
see. I really do want to see more stuff like this. I really want to see them try things that you know, like you said, aren't really in their wheelhouse, but that potentially could be masterpiece level 6 scale figures.
I hope they space stuff out a little bit more, a little better for people. Like, I would not like to think that this piece, because I'm assuming that they're going to look to this to see if they can take this further and do. I think this is the hardest outfit, if I had to just guess off the top of my head. Some of the other ones are equally cool, um, but this one needs to sell. Like, this one needs to do well, and I know that it's coming out in what we've deemed the overload time period of Hot Toy releases and pre-orders. So this one just needs to do well so that we can get more
Yeah,
of her.
definitely. Um, yeah. So what did you of all the things we've spoken about tonight?
Yeah,
Last week's wave and this week's wave.
yeah.
Was there anything that you did go ahead and get in on
I,
pre-ordering?
I have not pre. I haven't pre-ordered anything this week at all, but I'm on the fence with Sabine and maybe Ezra. This is probably the best. To me, this is probably the best thing they showed, and I'm just talking as a person who's been in the 1/6 for a while. I've seen all the Sideshow and Hot Toys Star Wars releases, and I really like when they go outside their box. And my background is design and art direction. This costume is, if it's not the most iconic, it's in the top 5 most iconic costumes from Star Wars ever. So I think this is the best thing that they showed. But for me, the hardest one, the one I think I'm going to end up bending on eventually, is the Sabine. I'm not sure about Ezra yet. Part of me thinks that they'll do the short-haired Ezra,
Uh,
and I, I think I want the short-haired Ezra more if I were putting together like a Rebels crew. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I think Sabine's the hardest one for me, and I think I'm going to bend on it. But this one I think is the best thing that they showed.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that. Well, cool. I guess that'll put a cap on the Hot Toys stuff. And Rick, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about Star Wars fandom. So, what's been
Yeah.
going on lately?
So one of the things I thought that would be important to bring up. So we're just coming off of a really awesome animated series with Maul. That it, as far before Maul, the I would say the best part of the animation for me was that Siege of Mandalore Clone Wars, that season 7. It was really good. But I think Maul was better as far as, I love when they took the painterly stuff and they made it a bit darker. A lot of Inquisitors, a detective noir story. It really has a recipe that someone like me would really gravitate to. I wear a lot of black myself, and Haunted Mansion also my favorite ride. So Maul is going to speak to me. So we're just coming off of that, which I thought was worth mentioning. Um, I really enjoyed that series, and I really look forward to sitting down and watching. I love that they put the 2 episodes back to back. It's something that I've talked about. I don't know if it was on this show, but I've talked about it in groups of people, how I think Star Wars is better when they have the 2 episodes back to back on a streaming system.
Yes, I
I
agree.
like I like an hour. I want an hour. I want a nice chunk of story.
Yeah.
And so we're coming off of that, and then we're in the week where there hasn't been a Star Wars movie in the theaters since what, 6.5 to 7 years ago. It's been a while. It's been a long time. Um, and I think it's really cool that Favreau and Filoni, even if it was Disney's suggestion to bring it from streaming to put two characters that people like in the theater, even if it was Disney's suggestion, which I think it probably was, because I know season four had already been written. The fact that we've got a Favreau movie with Filoni right there with him, and two characters that have kind of helped keep Star Wars going in these years between movies. I think it's really cool that we get to go to the movies for an adventure, just like George Lucas did when he was watching Flash Gordon growing up and going every Saturday to see those movies. I love the idea of it. And I think that Mando and Grogu are interesting. I think the New Republic stuff is really interesting. This time period is interesting, and where I know that this is kind of like a more of a mini adventure and not the grand scope of Ahsoka where we get into the mythos and stuff. I'm ready for like just a popcorn Star Wars movie at the theater, because 6.5 years now we got spoiled for a while, with Star
Yeah.
Wars movies. And I miss it. So I'm excited about that this week. And then I've seen a lot of, this is not anything new to Star Wars, but there's some negativity out there. Just when anything new Star Wars pops up, there's always a lot of people trying to get clicks and views off of negativity. It's not just Star Wars, it's other brands as
Right.
well. But
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think we're in this period right now where we're coming off a mall. We've got a new movie in the theater. And then I know a lot of people were a little let down that the Ahsoka season 2 wasn't coming out this year. I'm included. Like I was ready for Ahsoka season 2, but I'm also the same person that lived through when Jedi ended in '83 and I was in middle school. I didn't get another Star Wars piece of media in the theater until what, '99 with Phantom Menace. So I'm used to waiting. This one, not so long. It's a few months, not so bad. But I look at what they're cooking up with Ahsoka season 2, and anybody that's not excited, I don't get it, because we're getting Hayden back in a bigger way as Anakin, right? The most popular episode of the season 1 was the episode with the flashbacks, Clone Wars flashbacks.
Mhm.
Now we know that we're getting Clone Wars flashbacks with Padme, with Obi-Wan. Like we know they're in it. We already know. If you can't get excited about that, then do you even like Star Wars? I'm looking at like all the possibilities. Like this is that time, before we get like trailers and things like that. There was a little bit of footage shown, I think, at the Disney Upfront convention. And I know some people saw Anakin with more lightsaber battles and some other things as well. But just hearing that makes me like, oh, excited. To
I know.
me, to me, that's the stuff. Not only are we getting the mall stuff, the dark detective noir stuff, we're getting the Mando Saturday popcorn adventure with the underworld being explored in at least 3 huts, one of them battling. What, like we're in a really good time period for Star.
Right.
Filoni, Filoni's at the helm. Um, the idea of what the flashback scenes of the Clone Wars are going to be in Ahsoka season 2 has me super excited. It's probably the thing I'm excited for most out of any brand that's cooking up new media right now. Um, I mean, we could see other characters in there. We could see Plo Koon. With
Yeah.
there in that when you do the flashbacks and you go to live action, there's so many opportunities to bring in characters that didn't get a lot of time in Revenge of the Sith. And I think that's the weakest part of the prequels, is that we didn't get enough time to spend with some of those Jedi. And Clone Wars really filled that gap. I think that's why Clone Wars is so popular. Honestly, there's a lot of Kit Fisto and Plo Koon, and
Right.
a lot of people that you just don't get to spend much time with. So I'm looking at like the negativity, and I have a hard time like understanding it with all the things that we have coming down the pike as far as Star Wars media. Then there's Starfighter. On top of all that, there's Starfighter, which is I don't know how it's connected to the new or the old Star Wars parts and pieces. We don't know yet if it is. But I still love the idea that they're, even after some hiccups and negativity, they're not afraid to bring in some new characters and try new things while they're also bringing back things that you loved about Anakin Skywalker or Padme or Obi-Wan through the years. Like, they're still trying to bring in new things, and they're still not afraid to take someone like Darth Maul, who's been, shown after Phantom Menace in multiple animations, and
Yeah.
his storyline just kind of kept growing, and it's still not over. There's
Right.
another season of that was greenlit before it even aired. So I thought it was important just to kind of talk about the media parts and how
Yeah.
it is exciting. And you'll see a lot of YouTubers talk. I've seen some action figure streaming shows say that Star Wars is a dead property,
Mhm.
and I just have a hard time giving these people, you know, my respect, because it's absolutely not true. If you follow it and you're not a Fringe fan, um, it's very exciting.
Yep.
And it can never come soon enough. I'm always going to be disappointed if they're like, oh, you got to wait 6 more months. But at the same time, I just have a feeling, now that they got a feel for what the most popular episode was for Ahsoka, now that we've got someone who is in a larger role, um, like leading the way, like, I think Ahsoka's going to be amazing. I didn't even mention Balin and Shin. I think they're two of the best anti-heroes. It's hard to say where they're going to end up, but they're not afraid to touch the mythos and go back to some of the things explored with the Force in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And I love that they introduced these two characters, and it's still a master and an apprentice. Those two characters were standout as well. But yeah, like, those are some of my thoughts that I've been thinking, like, the last, whenever I see anything that's a little bit more negative than I think it should be. And everybody's got opinions, but that's kind of
Mhm.
how I'm feeling. I'm a fan. I've been there since I was 6 years old, and it was the first movie I saw in the theater. And it was definitely the beginning of an action figure love and collection. So I thought I'd touch on it.
Yeah, no, good stuff. I'm glad that you did. And no, you're completely right. There's a lot of good stuff on the horizon, and I mean, lots of variables, right, with the collectibles, and some companies doing things that are great, and some doing things that don't make as much sense. But I mean, that's kind of always been the case, I feel like. Um, but yeah, no, I think you're right on the money there. I think there's a lot to look forward to, and a lot of reason to be positive about what is to come. And we'll note that I think this is just my personal thought. I feel like with the Ahsoka series, like season 2, I feel like that to some extent maybe that got delayed, because it has been a long time, right? 2023 was the last
Mhm.
season 1. I feel like to some extent that got delayed because maybe with Filoni coming, like, kind of overseeing things more now, that maybe he wanted to do some things different with it that maybe weren't in the original way that it was set up. But I don't know. It's my personal thought, and I will add as well that if there is a moment in season 2 where you have Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme together, like, I think that would hit harder for me, even honestly, than like Luke, Han, and Leia together in the future project. But that's just me.
No, I think it's very exciting.
Indeed, it is. Well, I guess that's going to take us to the final segment of the evening, and that is, of course, going to be new acquisitions, brand new things we've been adding to our collections.
New acquisitions.
All right, so this is the time in the show where we do a little show and tell. We will talk about our recent acquisitions. And my friends here in the chat, please let us know what you've been adding to your collections as of late. We will go back and read through them after we present what we recently added to our collections. But Rick is, I'll go ahead and I can put you on a solo layout here. Is there anything you would like to share with the Cantinians this evening?
I've got just a few things. I'd say this was a really light week for me, but I've got a few things I pulled. One being like a big hole in the TVC collection, this Bays Malbus.
Ooh.
He came in. I haven't opened one, but I think that's pretty exciting. Rogue One is still such a solid movie, and I think the other figures are pretty good. I always think there's more they could do with Rogue One when I look at the vehicles and stuff. Like I know we got that tank that is absolutely amazing and stunning and well weathered and great. I love that. There's still more that I wish they'd do, but and then let's see. This is a line that I pick up all the releases of. That's the X-Men '97 Archangel. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't really compared how different he is to the, more comic inspired Archangel, but I feel like I have to have it because I feel like that animated series is really well done. So and I'm looking forward to that sooner than later too. And then really the thing it's been kind of a lull for the Star Wars stuff. I had already gotten most of the Mando Grogu movie stuff for Black Series and TVC, but there is another movie on the horizon coming next week that I've already got tickets for, and I'm also a huge fan, and it takes up, I don't know, 35% of this room, and that's Motu.
Oh, wow.
I have a lot of Motu that you really can't see behind me. It's on the opposite wall, but I'm a huge fan of Masters of the Universe. And they just put out like the Chronicles movie line, and I think they're really good. I buy the Origins as well. I've been buying Origins since day one, so I have a complete collection of Motu Origins, which at this point has become one of the largest lines with the largest play sets that is in my entire collection. I wasn't expecting it. I was into Motu as a kid, like big time. Watched the cartoon. Remember talking on the phone with friends in the afternoons when it would come on. And it stuck with me through the years as well. So I'm excited about that. And I did buy the entire line like in a week. So I have a bin. I don't have a place to put them all yet, but I have a bin of just Motu movie Chronicle stuff with Battle Cat. And
nice.
That's really what I've been up to the last 2 weeks.
Awesome.
That's about it.
Cool. Those are some good acquisitions for sure. And yeah, I haven't done the Archangel myself, but yeah, I love the X-Men '97, and I think I bought all the mainline stuff, like the single releases. But
yeah,
can't have it all. Can't have it all. So
there's one other item I wanted to mention. I don't know if you're collecting or not, but I have not. So I've collected them all, but what's weird is I haven't opened them up, and I can't figure out if it's something that I do a little buying and selling, and I don't know if it's something that I'm gonna make space for it. That is the Mondo Real Ghostbusters. I don't know if you've been into those, but the Ray Stantz shipped this week, and I did get that. It's still in the cardboard box. But yeah, I don't know if you're collecting those. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, no, I have those on the shelf. I haven't bought so for the Ghosts, I only did the like the 2 packs with the Sam Hain and Boogeyman, who are over there on the shelf.
Yeah.
But I skipped the Sandman. I pre-ordered Winston, but I skipped the Sandman, and then Ray Stantz, which I forget the Ghost that one came up, but I skipped that one too. I just ordered the single figure, but gosh, so that's shipping already. Okay, so that's another thing I didn't even expect, because speaking of Ghost, but I'm glad you mentioned this. They weren't supposed to come out till next month, but Hasbro Pulse is already shipping the retro series Ecto Glow car.
Yes,
and they're also shipping the Proton pack. So I got hit with those charges as well, on top of everything else within the last couple of days. But yes, that's how it goes. Can be unpredictable. But yeah. All right. I got a couple of things to share here. Let me jump over to my Instagram where I have the first series of acquisitions. So I've been catching up recently on the Beasts of the Mesozoic line. That is from Creative Beast Studio. So these started coming out back in, it's been close to a decade, I think now, where these were like a Kickstarter and they had like the Raptor series. But now they have, they've since released the Ceratopsian series and then the Tyrannosaur series, and now they have a bunch of other stuff. But I'd kind of been neglecting the line for a while, so I've been going back and picking up things here and there. So I placed a sizable order from their site a couple weeks back, and it came in this week. So this is the Cyberzoic. This is the Deinonychus. This is 1/18 scale, so it fits with 3¾ inch figures. I got the Allosaurus. This is the one of two variations. This is the 1/35 scale, so it's scaled for it's scaled down. I got the Pachycephalosaurus. This is the 1/18 scale, and these are all fully articulated figures. And then I got the Dilophosaurus, which was also a Cyberzoic release. So it's nice to be catching up on those because I've been neglecting them for far too long. And then, okay, I got two Hot Toys. All right, these are kind of. All right, let me start with the one that came in this week. All right. Here she is.
Ooh.
Sabine Wren.
Amazing.
Have not opened her up yet, but based on all the photos we were looking at just a little while ago, I'm very excited to get her on the shelf. I'm very, very, very excited to get her on the shelf. So very, very, yeah. I'm really stoked to get that one looked at very soon, within the next day or so, hopefully. All right, this next one, so I had said in a previous episode that I was going to pass on this one. I said that there were some things problematic about it, and I still maintain that is 100% the case. I'm not 100%. I'm not completely comfortable with the execution of the figure, but that said, I'm obviously very fond of the character, and I think there's a way that I can display this figure, as well as the accessories that are included with it, in a way that mitigate the issues that I have with it. So I went ahead and I picked it up. So I'll go ahead and show what it is. But I did receive the new Ahsoka.
Ooh, I can't wait to get this one.
Yeah. So of course she comes with our friend Rada that we were talking about earlier. So now there's two Hot Toys Radas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another one that I have not opened up yet, but again, I seriously do think there are some issues with this that should not have been made at the final cut, but I'll find a way to display her that's, I think, respectful. But anyway, it's a smaller list, but these are some pretty big acquisitions for the week.
Those are both great.
Thanks. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what the chat has gotten recently. Yes, new acquisitions, definitely, Adam. Darth Malik's Missing Lord Jaw says, I just pre-ordered the Queen Amidala a few minutes ago. Very nice, very nice. Big Obi-Wan says, new acquisitions, Blockies, Transformers at the Wazoo, the next Droid Factory droid from Disney, and some Micro Squad A-Wings and Rex's Y-Wing. Nice. Britt says, I got the Black Series, Tonwi, Watto, Gina Noir, and Starkiller. Cool. Allison says, picked up a vintage 3¾ inch Stormtrooper. That's it. Nice. Can't go wrong with vintage. Darth Malik also adds, I think I'll pick up the TVC Chimere, and I'm looking forward to the 2D Clone Wars Anakin Adventures 2-pack from Comic-Con. Indeed. Dodson says, I don't know what has been happening, but I've really been stockpiling on my POAFs, which he clarifies, pocket of air and flies, so nothing for Dodgson this week. Mary says, I got the Hot Toys Sabine Wren from Rebels, Stacy Tin Clone Armor, Plo Koon, Chewbacca with C-3PO, Alien Romulus Scorch Xenomorph, and I'm not sure I'm going to say this right, Equaz Studio 16 Captain Barbosa with rooted wool hair and beard. Mary, I think you're the winner this week.
Easily, yeah.
Easily, yeah. Mary balling it over there. Alex says that we'll grab Sabine as well. Pose Ahsoka wearing the cloak with Ahsoka the White from the first iteration to the latest iteration. Mary likes the Allosaurus. She says, PW1 says, do you feel better about this Ahsoka now that you have her in hand? No, I mean, not in the way, not in the, as far as the concerns that I had with it. I'm happy to have the figure, I will say. I mean, it's kind of a weird situation, right? But I don't know. I mean, I'm glad I have it, but it's still, to me, it is still somewhat problematic. Let's see. Oh, I said it right. Good. Dodson is closing the soda fountain and is going to be heading out. Thank you so much, Dodson. Appreciate you. We will see you next time. And yeah, I think it looks like going through the chat, those are all the acquisitions that I see. So thank you all for sharing your acquisitions with us. Hope you enjoyed seeing our acquisitions. And yeah, I guess next time I see you guys, I'm going to have that new Proton pack and be a little bit poorer. So that's how it goes in this hobby, though. But to be fair, I have been letting go of certain things. So I have been selling a few of my older Hot Toys, not like Grail ones that I work so hard to get, but just like ones that I don't necessarily like need to keep because they don't. I'm never going to display them again, so not really any point. And I've been selling a few like lightsabers. So got a way to fund the hobby, right? Keep it going. But yeah, I guess that's it. So yeah, no, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And Rick, thank you so much to you for hanging out with us tonight and sharing your thoughts and ideas. We've covered quite a bit, and it's been awesome talking Hot Toys and talking Star Wars with you this evening.
Absolutely. Like, glad you thought of me. And I think it was a good week. I had a lot of thoughts going on about Hot Toys the past few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Rick, where can our viewers go to look you up on the interwebs?
Well, you can find me on Instagram as Shatterglass Jazz, and only Instagram these days.
Nice. And a question for me real quick. It says, will you be at Disney on Friday the 29th? Why? What's going on? What am I missing? No, not planning to. Not planning to at this time. But no, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out with us. Really appreciate you guys. As always, Greg says we need a new segment, what we've sold. Yeah. Instead of new acquisitions, it's I don't know what that would be called. Old deacquisitions. I don't know. I don't know what it would be. And thank you so much, Mary. And yeah, I will definitely be opening Sabine. Maybe I'll put her in this little area that I have here that's been cleaned. How well you guys can see it, but there's like nothing in it. It's just completely empty because I took out the Mando season 3 stuff that was in there. So maybe I'll put her in there, or maybe I'll put her with the Ahsoka series stuff and just switch out the Sabine that's in there right now. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Grand Night Disneyland? No. I mean, no, there's no reason I'd be going to that. So, and it'd probably be very crowded. So no. But I probably will be going very soon. Maybe this, I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, thank you all as always for tuning in to Cantina Social Hour. Really appreciate you. Thanks again to our guest Rick for hanging out with us tonight. No matter where you're tuning in, out in the galaxy, we appreciate you watching Cantina Social Hour. We'll be back very soon with another episode, of course. But until then, be safe. May the force be with you. Keep it positive. Spread love, light, and positive energy to everybody out there. And we will catch you in the next episode. Bye, everybody.